Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely pumped you're here. Today, I'm stepping in as your bilingual sensei, and our goal is to unpack the essential language of Japanese corporate finance. Whether you're gearing up for the BJT Business Japanese Proficiency Test, or you're just trying to navigate a Japanese business environment, mastering this finance vocabulary is a total game changer. My focus today is to help you bridge that gap, teaching you highly professional, natural Japanese using clear English explanations. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have 30 essential finance words in your toolkit that will completely transform how you understand company operations. So get focused, get ready, and let's unlock this language together. Okay, let's dive right into our syllabus for today. We're going to follow the actual life cycle of money flowing through a Japanese company. First up, core company finances. Then tracking daily cash flow. Third, essential business paperwork. Fourth, banking and payroll. Fifth, zooming out for big picture corporate strategy. And finally, number 6, a real-world practice conversation. Let's get to it. Starting off with Section 1, Core Company Finances. We are setting the foundation here. All right, before any actual business deal can happen, you need a foundation, right? First is kaikei. That's just the broad concept of accounting. But if you actually need to go talk to the accounting folks, that's the keiri, the actual finance or accounting department. Now, obviously, before you spend a dime, a yosan, or budget, has to be set. And hey, the government always gets its cut, so we have zeikin, which means tax. More specifically, you'll see shohizei, the consumption tax, which is sitting at 10% right now in Japan. So think of it like this. Your cutie department manages the kaikei, strictly following the yosan while always remembering the shohizei. Let's put this into practice with some really natural Japanese. Look at this phrase. Keiri ni shoruyo teishutsu shimashita, meaning I submitted the documents to the accounting department. Super practical, right? You're not just memorizing the word keiri in a vacuum, you're actually learning exactly how to tell your boss that the paperwork has safely made it to the finance team. Moving on to Section 2, Tracking Daily Cash Flow. This is the pulse of the business. Let's group these 4 terms together because it really shows the daily push and pull of company cash. On the money inside, we've got uriage, your sales revenue. This is literally the lifeblood of the company. More broadly speaking, any income is shunyu. But, money flows out too. Shishatsu is your general expenditure. But for day-to-day business costs, like, say, buying a bullet train ticket to go visit a client, that's a keihi, or business expense. So uriage and shunyu flow in, shishatsu and keihi flow out. Now, what's really interesting about all that pushing and pulling is the ultimate outcome. On the left, we have riki, which is profit. That's the dream, right? That's what we're all working for. And on the right, the absolute nightmare outcome, sanshitsu, or loss. Every single business move you make is designed to hit that riki and completely avoid a sanshitsu. Definitely keep those two sharply contrasted in your mind. All right, Section 3, Essential Business Paperwork. Here's the life cycle of a deal. Okay, let's walk through this chronologically. It makes these dry administrative terms so much easier to remember. Step 1, you hash out the price and send over a mitsumorisho, a quotation or estimate. Once they give the green light, we hit Step 2, hachu, the actual order placement. Then, after you deliver the goods or services, Step 3 is firing off the seikyusho, the invoice, to actually ask for the money. And finally, when the cash changes hands, Step 4 is issuing ryoshusho, the receipt. And please, absolutely keep that yoshusho for your keiri department. Mitsumorisho, hachu, seikyusho, ryoshusho. Learn them in that exact order and you'll never forget them. Next up, Section 4, Banking and Payroll. Let's handle the funds. Let's run through these 6 banking terms nice and quick. Your ginko koza is your bank account. The money sitting in there, that's your zandaka, your balance. Sure, you might use genkin, which is cash, but honestly, in a corporate setting, you're mostly doing a furikomi, a bank transfer. When that furikomi happens, you'll either see a nukin, a payment received, or a shukin, a withdrawal or payment out. Basically, a successful furikomi from a client triggers a nukin, which directly bumps up the zandaka in your ginko koza. Simple. Speaking of your personal zandaka going up, you absolutely have to know these 2. Kyuryo is your standard salary, but shoyo? Oh, that is your bonus. Nailing these terms is crucial because, well, that's your personal financial payoff for mastering this corporate environment so well. Moving into Section 5, Big Picture Corporate Strategy. Let's zoom out. Time for some advanced strategy vocabulary. For a company to really grow, it needs toshi, investment. To get that, they might issue kabushiki, which means stocks or shares. Fast forward to the end of the fiscal year, and everything culminates in the kesan, the financial settlement. Now, handling these broad zaimu, finance affairs, and tracking kabushiki requires a really solid grasp of the big picture. But the absolute engine keeping this whole thing running, that's your shikinguri, cash flow management. And this brilliantly illustrates the core balancing act of any corporation. On one side, you have shisan, your assets, stuff the company owns that holds value. On the flip side, fusai, your liabilities or debt. A healthy business has to perfectly balance its shisan against its fusai. If your fusai gets out of hand, the entire business strategy is in serious trouble. I actually want to pause here for a second to emphasize a core business truth. Shikinguri ga junyo desu. Cash flow management is important. Let me slow that down so the pronunciation is crystal clear. Shikinguri. Shikinguri. Seriously, even if you're shisan, your assets are massive. Terrible shikinguri can tank a business overnight. It is an absolutely crucial phrase to have in your back pocket for any boardroom. All right, final section, number 6, real-world practice conversation. Let's bring it all together. Let's see how seamlessly these words flow in a real, natural conversation, the exact kind you'd actually hear in a Japanese office. Speaker A kicks it off. Kongetsu no uriage wa dou desu ka? How are this month's sales? Speaker B replies, Uriage wa fuemashita ga, keihi mo fuemashita. Sales increased, but expenses also increased. Notice that really clear contrast between uriage and keihi. Then Speaker A hits him with the big one. Rieki wa dete imasu ka? Are we making a profit? And Speaker B confirms, Hai, rieki wa sakunen yori takai desu. Yes, profit is higher than last year. Just by stringing together uriage, keihi, and rieki, you are suddenly talking about company performance like a total pro. So why does learning this specific, structured vocabulary actually matter? Well, mastering these 30 words literally unlocks your ability to decode financial documents in Japanese companies. You can finally communicate directly and professionally with the KD department. You can confidently process a Seikyu-sho, a Yoshu-sho, and a Mitsumori-sho. And yeah, if you're testing your skills, this is going to seriously bump up your BJT Business Japanese score. Ultimately, this is all about building your confidence to operate smoothly in both English and Japanese at work. So, my focused learners, I'm going to leave you with this question. Are you ready to boost your company's rieki and absolutely master your next kessen? You now have the exact vocabulary to go out there, manage that shikinkuri, and really thrive in the Japanese corporate world. Take these words, review these principles, and go crush your next business deal. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and keep learning.